Well, I guess it's time for me to talk to the people. All of those lovely human beings that are around us and among us and inside us. My name is Hazel Rose. You know me as your friendly neighborhood poltergeist, aka lyricist. So this week's vlog, I hope you bumped the new song. It's called Trippy. And of course we had to have a trippy topic today, which is true life ghost stories. Freaking? Are you feeling scared? Are they your fucking guns, man? Are you fucking nuts, man? Are you fucking ready, man? So we asked you guys, what are some of your true life ghost stories? And we're gonna share with you some of the best stories that were shared with us. And we even have a very special, beautiful guest who is rejoining the segment a little bit later today. So hold on to your horses, fucks. So, personally, my experiences with people that have passed on, we'll call them ghosts now, you could call them spirits or whatever you want. I mainly talk to them and see them in my dreams. And it's usually people that I've really loved that I feel come to visit me. I've had a few different times. Actually, last night I had a dream of an amazing loved one that we lost in the past year actually visiting me and looking radiant, because she passed away of an illness and she came looking radiant and healthy, like she would have been like Tessa Thompson on a horse in Avengers. And I gave her a huge hug and I said that, like, you look amazing. And they were genderless and it was really beautiful. I had one where the person appeared to me in my mirror in my dream and said to me, I'm right here, I'm on the other side, but I have a new name. And I'm right here, but you just can't see me. And I could see them in the mirror, but not in the actual room. And I've had a similar thing where it's like the spirits are kind of separated by some type of like glass or mirror or like wall that you can't cross over. Like I've had one where I remember seeing my grandfather outside of a sliding glass door and like we couldn't come through to talk to each other because we were like in different realms, but we could see each other. Other experiences I've had, I've seen lights flickering in a very kind of like seeming like it was responding to what was happening kind of way.
Will, are you here? Okay, good.
And I've had something banging against the wall that I feel was like a spirit. But that's the closest that I've come. So do you guys want to hear some stories from our lovely other people telling us their true life ghost stories? Yeah, we totally do, man. We totally want to know, man. Tell us what we get. Okay, great. Our first story comes from Kate. So she used to live in London for about 4 years in her late teens and early 20s. And when she was 18 in London, one day she woke up and she was kind of jolted awake and she saw the face of a man right over her, like above her bed looking at her. And she said it was a really sinister face with facial hair. And it freaked her the fuck out. And then she turned on the light and he was gone. Waking up and having someone like right in your face, that is like the freakiest shit ever to me. I'm so happy I've never had that. And I'm sorry, Kate from LA. And then, so she decided to sleep with the lights on from then on out naturally. But the following night, the person next to her had a closet door that was like a little bit open, and the whole night there was banging from inside the closet door. Until Kate, the optimist and beautiful spiritual seeker that she is, conducted her own form of exorcism and was like, I release you to the bearded man. Never saw him again.
Power of Christ compels you.
Seriously, hurts a little bit. It's like so sting.
I feel that though, like you gotta release some of these spirits sometimes. You gotta, because I chant whatever your spiritual practice is, that's protective, you feel me? Whatever your protective force is, use that shit and be like, I wish you the best, transcend into the next levels. I release you, you feel me? Okay, now we have another one. I'm gonna have to read this from my phone, you guys, because it's just so good and so well written. This is from one of my mentors in life, my cousin Riley, who's so amazing. Shout out to you, cuzzo. So here is what happened to my cousin Riley. I consider this to be called the story of the man in the cemetery. So it was me and my friend Sam hanging out at our house, which is near the Masonic cemetery where we used to hang out a lot. We were drinking, but not heavily, just beer, and I had a strange sensation develop over the course of the evening. At a certain point, we were standing out on the porch smoking, and I was struggling to remember earlier in the night. Then a sort of dam burst in my mind, and I saw the events of the evening, but this time there was another figure there with us, a short, fat, bald guy, mostly transparent, fuzzy like TV static. I was so disoriented by the memory that for a second I couldn't tell what was going on, and I asked Sam, "This is gonna sound weird, but how many people have been hanging out tonight?" He looked at me concerned and said, "Just you and me." I realized right away that he was telling the truth, but my memory was also true, and that created a tension in my mind that finally popped in some sense, and I saw right before me the fuzzy static dude who could see that I could see him and was as surprised as I was, and he went off running toward the cemetery. I feel like we're kind of seeing different, there's like the wandering spirits that are fine, but they're just doing their thing. There's like the more demonic energy, which thankfully I've never encountered. And then there's like our loving family type of energy, like checking up on us. And then there's like the actual angelic, like amazing, higher level, like guide, mentor type of spirits. That's what I've glistened and gleaned and glamored. We also have a story from Luke in Modesto, who said his house was haunted, and that one night when his kids went away for like a sleepover, he heard pounding on the garage door. He saw handprints going down the walls. The electronics and the lights started to keep going on and off, and actually a plate flew at him, he said. And he said that his partner at the time called the cops, and once the cops came, it stopped, and when the cops left, it started back up again. So that's a trip to me. I've definitely heard like the stories about electronics and lights being fucked with and all that kind of stuff, but that's like a really mobile spirit. Shout out to Beetlejuice and all the crazy pranks and tricks. And then my friend Angelina, who does a lot of work at this great gallery called the Rendon, said that she was closing up one time alone in the Rendon and heard this baaing goat noises coming from the bar. So we got some Puerto goats, man. Give me those goats numbers. Give me those goats numbers. Kidding, joking around. Most of the responses that we got are actually from people that feel like they're having visitations from people who cared about them and are checking up on them. And I really like that because it kind of gleans and glistens the fact that those people have transcended and they're able to like be mobile and be intelligent and be transcendent, but also be able to tap back into this dimension, which would be super dope if that was true to me. One of those is from Morena, who said that her dad died in the house that she was living at, and her 7-year-old daughter started having an imaginary friend and told Morena that the imaginary friend's name was Alan, and Alan was the name of her deceased father who actually died in the house. And she thought that was a positive thing and that he was watching over her. So those are just a few spattling and sprinkling of ghost stories that we have. Are you guys feeling a little moody? Are you guys feeling a little receptive? Are you guys feeling a little ghosty, a little spiritual? Because I want to bring on a very special guest, and my foot is like literally
dead right now.
I want to introduce a very special guest. You have seen her before. She's one of my favorite people that I've met in LA. She's super dope. And she sent me a story that with some accompanying photos that will show you that I thought was fucking one of the craziest and coolest ghost demonic stories that I've heard that took place in her home country of Ecuador. So I want to introduce the amazing filmmaker, person, just hilarious and beautiful individual who also starred in the Kiki Do You Love Me vlog. Don't skimp on it and never sleep on it. Introducing the glorious Angie Quiñones. How are you? So you sent me this ghost story from your childhood. When you were 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell it to us? Also, P.S. I love you.
Cuando estaba en mi escuela tenía 6 años de edad, yo recuerdo bien, y no tenía muchos amigos, entonces siempre el recreo salía a sentarme al lado de un ángel muy grande que teníamos en mi escuela.
So every recess she would sit by a big angel that was in the outside area of her school. And so one day this other little girl came and was like climbing and swinging on the statue, and it broke. And that little girl ran away. And so Angie was trying to gather up the pieces and like fix it. Is that right? Kind of? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Y las monjas de la escuela vinieron y me culparon a mí. Entonces, obviamente traté de explicar que no era yo, pero ok, recibí una expulsión de la escuela por una semana.
Wow. So the monks or the nuns came and they blamed it on her. And so they suspended her from the school for a week.
A partir de ese día, al siguiente día, una imagen oscura que no podía ver sus ojos apareció. Primero apareció al lado de mi cama y sentada. Entonces, ok, me asusté, me salí como loca gritando y todo, ¿no?
Pretty sure back at your house you started seeing like an image, or maybe it's like a demon or some type of image, and we'll show a picture of what it looks like. And it started appearing to her sometimes in your room. It would be sitting down or in different places in the house, right?
Exacto, y todo el tiempo estaba llamándome, haciéndome con sus manos que venga hacia esta persona. Y no entendía qué quería, tampoco entendía qué pasaba porque estaba muy pequeña, pero fue muy escalofriante. Me asustó mucho. Y nadie, en mi familia, nadie podía verlo.
Yeah, when I forgot to say, she said she couldn't see its eyes. The face was like obscured. And every time she saw it, it would be beckoning her to like come. It didn't say anything, but it would just be saying to come with me, and no one else in her family could see it.
Pero después de la semana que volví a la escuela, en mi escuela continuó esta imagen apareciéndose.
Yeah, so for that whole week it continued and no one knew what to do, no one else saw it, and then she went back to school and you were still seeing it at school, right? That's crazy. It sat at her desk, and when she was taking dance classes, she saw it on the stage beckoning to her. And she was like asking her professor, but the professor didn't see it.
El sacerdote llegó a la conclusión de que tenía que echarme agua bendita y lo hizo. Echó agua bendita en toda mi casa. Casi que volvió a bautizarme de nuevo a mí. Fue a la escuela también, echó mucha agua bendita también en la escuela. Hizo una oración un poco fuerte, un poco extraña también, como sacando malos espíritus. Y bueno, eso me dejó un poco tranquila, pero la imagen no dejó de aparecer.
And they decided after the meeting with your family that they would put holy water all over your house and put it on you, put it in the school, and say an oration about getting away bad spirits, right? But then you felt a little bit better, but you could still see it. The demon was still there.
Reemplazaron también el ángel, cambiaron el ángel, y cuando esto fue reemplazado, esta imagen se fue desapareciendo. Sé que un día no la vi más, y en buena hora.
When the angel was put back together and when the angel was repaired was when she stopped seeing this figure. And the pictures that she sent me of what this image looked a lot like these cucuruchos in Ecuador. Dude, I had a little angel in preschool that I would always chill with too, like in my little backyard. Yeah, it was like a guardian maybe, and an angel protecting.
Yeah, maybe yes, because
so if I understood that right, it was the history of the school dated back to the conquistadors, and it also used to be an orphanage where a lot of people died. So if people want to follow you, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can follow me in Instagram, NGQTQ, so, and I will follow you back. I hope this ghost don't come with me. Don't follow me.
No. We send protective spirits to everyone. Tap into your good side and sending love to those that have passed on. And stay trippy. Check out the new Trippy song. Thank you for doing the True Life Ghost Stories. If you have a True Life Ghost Story, leave a comment below. Or if you have something you want to see on the blog, leave a comment below because we're receptive. We take it in, and put it back out there. We want me to do a little video. Wait.
Telly in the strip, ready for the trip. We live and televised. Vacay with Henny on ice. Vibe is so high, it's a crime. Sweet in a balcony, forget what time it is. Yelling at my life, bitch, I'm alive.
Hey guys, thank you for watching. It's me, Hazel Rose. Thank you so much for being a part of this and watching that vlog that you just watched. Was it good? Did it suck? Let me know. Tell yourself you love yourself, hug a friend, freaking change the world because this world is fucked. and we need you.